I am Evian Gordon. BrainArt is my ongoing catharsis in this absurd but occasionally wondrous world. The window into the brain is a window into ourselves. The brain is our only common frame of reference. As a brain scientist, my BrainArt is an exploration of what I think I know about the workings of the brain and how they shape our sense of self. In my science life, I explore, I suppose, the links between our emotional brain and our rational brain. And in my art life, the focus is on the emotional brain, ideas, free associations, the role of the subconscious, and all in some way contributing to sense of self. My BrainArt spans 4 themes: human brain evolution, brain dynamics, self, and integration. In human brain evolution, I was first struck as a brain scientist by the extraordinary trebling of brain size over the past approximately 5 million years that occurred within the rhythms of nature, and the price that we pay, I suppose, for our conquest of nature is our alienation from it, and much of those paintings reflect that reality for me. Also how humans have evolved within the rhythms of nature, but how discordant that is to modern day adaptive functions in cities with a more competitive rather than cooperative imperative. In my paintings of brain dynamics, I'm trying to capture the essence of how I think the brain works. Beginning with the reality that neurons that fire together wire together, and how those patterns are the basis of learning. We are a composite of our habits, and how when we do things about 1,000 times that becomes a habit. Our brain is very much tuned to minimizing danger and maximizing reward. But with this mushrooming of our brain over the last 5 million years, this trebling in brain size, we also have the capacity to have more lofty goals, to find meaning and purpose, in addition to that primitive minimizing danger and maximizing reward imperative. It's that fragility. The brain is fragile. 100 billion interconnecting nerves, about 100 chemicals sloshing around. It's a fragile system. It's edge of chaos. The balance between stability and flexibility is what we seek every moment of the day. And in a sense, that tension and yet that kind of simplicity and stability, which seems to be what the brain yearns for in its adaptive mode, is what I try and capture, that balance between the stability, the simplicity, and yet as we push towards our explorative boundaries of self-exploration, the fragility becomes more obvious, and the potential to go into imbalance, even fragment, becomes more real. And all of this is compounded by the reality that our subconscious processing, rapid automatic subconscious processing, significantly dictates which brain networks then kick in to process detail and context. And that ongoing interplay is another part of the essence of self. My paintings of self reflect the full panoply of self-exploration, from archetypal self, fighting for self. In a sense, all my paintings of self are fighting for self at some level, an authentic, comfortable sense of self. And veneer of self, so many masks, compared to the underlying brain function. Dislocated self, emergent self in some parts. But that interplay, the variety, the adaptive challenges, the yearning, the seeking, the fighting for self. I bring together a number of elements in my integration paintings. I paint mainly with primary colours straight from the tube, and this is to reflect the fact that simple rules underlie the complexities of the working brain. I also use subtle visual distortions created, for example, by looking through silicon that I put into the paintings, and this is to signify that nothing is as it seems, the veneer of behaviour versus the underlying complexity of brain function. My oil paintings are also digitized, and they become brushstrokes for these integrative paintings, which I bring together in a software package on my computer, and then my friend Steen Rees prints them out for me onto canvas and I can paint over them. A painting for me is a journey of exploration. Every painting for me is a journey of exploration of brain function and self. Finally, I've created a language of symbols to reflect the key factors that I think underlie brain function and self. Examples include minimize danger, maximize reward imperative is symbolized by a circle of safety for minimize danger and a simple tick, a tick of reward. Meaning and purpose is reflected by a star symbol. Through my BrainArt, I have generated an internal world that has been both enriching, but much of the time personally confronting.